Hey there and welcome. This is lesson number 15 for the computer literacy course. And I'm Mr. Berry. Today we're going to be going over how I use my smartphone to link with my Google account and my other accounts there so I can link it with my other computers such as my Chromebook and my Windows computer so that basically I can use it to edit documents, work with my media, and even how to use it as my main computer when I'm away from home. So let's get started with this lesson, you and I. Come on. Hey, here I am in my cell phone. Now in this I'm going to show you how to do things with both an Android phone as well as an Apple iPhone. So just bear with everyone here and we'll get through all the steps. Now what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you how to work with your files so that you can be using it as your main computer, especially if you're traveling during the holidays. This will really come in handy. So right here on the home screen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the very top there and slide or swish my finger down, and this will reveal the notifications that you see here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the little gear icon that's found in the upper right hand corner there, and that's one way to get into my settings. Now another way to get into your settings is to find this icon, and this is the settings icon. Just tap that and that's how you find your settings within your Android phone. Now if you're within an iPhone, the icon that you'll need to find is right here. And that one, just tap that one to open up into your settings. Now once you're in your settings, what we're going to do is we need to add our Google account so that you can synchronize all the work that you do on your Chromebook, your Macintosh, your Windows computers, and on your phone. It synchronizes everything. And all this works as long as you're logged into the same Google accounts. Now you can have more than one account, as you'll soon see, but you want to make sure that that you're logged into the same ones on these different devices so you can share all of your files and all of your work. So here we are in the settings, and you want to scroll down and find what's called the accounts. Go ahead and tap accounts and setup there, or backup, and once you've tapped that, it comes up and it opens up into your accounts and backup page. At the very top it says accounts. Go ahead and tap that and it opens up into our accounts. And as you can see here, I have about 20 different Google accounts or Gmail accounts, and I use that for my different work because I work at different school districts. And I also something's happened here recently where basically your Google Drive is limited to 15 gigs. And so a way to get around that is to have more than one Google account. So if you have two Google accounts, now it opens that up to being 30 gigs and so forth and so on. And so there I have 20, and that allows me a lot more space. What you want to do is scroll down all the way to the bottom where it says add account. Now once you click or tap on add an account, you see this screen here. You'll need to go down to where it says Google and then tap on Google, and then this screen opens up here. Now within this screen you can add your Google account simply by typing in the email address at the top and then clicking on next and then your password, and then it will synchronize within that one account. Now let's say that you wanted to add a new account or just create one if you didn't have one. If you look at the very bottom of this screen, it says create account, and you tap that and then you can create a brand new Google account. Really it only takes a couple minutes to do that, and due to the fact that you're limited to 15 gigs now on your Google Drive as well as your Gmail, basically when you add a new account that will allow you to effectively double that space, and you can share your files between one account to the other. And that's how I've been able to get around the 15 gig limit. But anyway, once you've either created an account or signed into your regular Gmail account, then you can click on next there, and then at the very end it will be finish, and that'll send you finally back to your home screen when you're all done with that. Now once you've added your Google accounts, we're going to start using our Google applications, and that would be your Google Drive, your Google Photos, your Gmail, and your other Google services there. So here on my Android device, at the very bottom I have my Google Photos, and then I have a special folder called Google. Now normally that's what you find on an Android machine there. If you're working with a iPhone from Apple, then you'll notice you don't really have Google apps there. You have other apps, the Apple apps, but you don't have Google apps. So what you're going to do is to add those, take and tap the App Store. So once you tap the App Store icon that looks like that, then it opens up into your App Store. In the search box, you'll need to type in Google. So let's find the Google Drive. So tap that in. Once you tap that in, then do a search for the Google Drive, and then add that to your iPhone. After you do that, you probably would want your Google Photos added to that, as well as your Google or Gmail added as well, so you have all of your different Google services there. Now what's nice about the Google Drive is it does come with Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Google Slides, and that allows you to actually edit and work with your Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and your Microsoft PowerPoint files very easily there. So you can edit those, change them, and then send them to other people, which I'll show you here in a few moments. Now, after you've added all of your Google apps to your smartphone, then you go back to your home screen here, and you want to click on your settings. Now your settings opens up, and once you're in your settings, tap on Mail, Contacts, Calendars, and then the next screen opens up there in the middle. Tap on Add Account, and then tap on Google, and then basically you have that same screen that you saw on the Android, where you can add a Google account or log into your existing one. Now once you've done that, you'll then be able to use your Gmail and actually synchronize all of your work in there. What we're going to do now is we're going to jump back into here on my Android phone, and I'm going to open up my Google folder and get into my Google Drive. Now within your Google Drive, it opens up into this home screen, and your home screen here will show you your files. If you have folders saved there, it'll show that. Most recently worked on documents and folders will be seen at the top, and then older items will be seen below that. And you'll notice there it says Home, and that's the one that's marked in blue. So you're in the home page, you might say, of your Google Drive. This is going to be very similar regardless of whether you're working with newer Android phones, older Android phones, or even different versions of your iPhone. It's going to have an appearance similar to this, and it'll have the same functionality as this. Now, going on, if I go in and if I tap on the three lines seen at the very top there, that allows me to open up to what's called my Google Drive options, and I can actually tap on Recent is the very first one there. And if I tap on Recent, it shows me all my recently worked on work. Below that is Offline, so if you've saved files, if you've saved documents, perhaps a Microsoft Word document or a Google Docs document onto your device, boom, it's be found there on the Offline. And then you have Trash. Below that you have Notifications. Now in Notifications, if you're working with a lot of other people and they're sending you files or they're sending you work or folders, then it'll appear there where you have a notification that someone has shared something with you. That's where it shows up there. You can also have backups, and if you tap that backup, you'll notice right here you have backups from different devices. So if you're backing up your iPhone, if you're backing up your Android machine or your Chromebook or your other laptops, it'll appear right here in this list, and you can see when it was backed up, and you'll have those files available to you there. Going back to the Google Drive options here, we notice below that we have settings, and within the settings you can actually change things such as you can select different folders that you want to be automatically backed up for you within your Google Drive. Below that you have help and feedback. So if for some reason you're in Google Drive and you don't know how to do something, you can always tap into help and then find the steps on how to do something there within the help. Below that is storage. And Google Drive is now part of the One Storage. And the One Storage is limited to 15 gigs. And if you buy more there, you can see that you can add more storage to it, and that's anywhere from a few dollars to more a month. You can pay by the year. If you want to go like buy a terabyte of space, you can go and save a lot of money by just going and paying it by the year. But anyway, if you look down at mine, it says storage 72% full. I'm using 12.4 gigabytes of 17 gigs, and there it kind of keeps me abreast of what's being used there on my storage there, and gives me the option, so if I did want to upgrade that, I can do that. Alright, I'm going to tap outside of this one now and go back into my home screen. Now on my home screen, you'll notice here I'm looking at two different files. The computer lit title screen there, and below that is payments. Now if I was to notice there on the side, you have three little dots above each of your files and next to folders as well. So if I was to go ahead and tap on one of those, it'll come up, and it actually comes up to the name of the file. Below that, it gives me the option to share it with others. Below that, I can add it to my starred or favorites in my Google Drive. If I notice below that, it says make available offline, and now save a copy right to your device. So you can, let's say that you're going on a trip and you know that there will be certain parts of that trip where you won't be able to connect to the internet. What you want to do is, before you go on your trip, go to your folders or go to your files that you know you'll be working with, or you think that you'll be working with, and then tap on make available offline, and you'll download those to your device. Below that you have link sharing off, and you can share folders as well as files, and there's three different privileges that you can share your work. One is where you're sharing your work and the other person can just see it or view it, but they cannot make a comment, they can't make changes to it, they can just see it and that's it. The next privilege is where they can view the document or the folder and they can add a comment to the work. The next one is where they can view it, they can add comments, or they can even change the file or the folder, add work to it or make changes to it just as if they were the owner. So those are the three types of privileges that you can share your work as. Below that you can have a copy link, so you can email it to someone. You can make a copy, so if you wanted the original preserved and not changed, you can click on make a copy and have two copies there. And then if you wanted to send a copy to a co-worker or to a friend, you click on send a copy, and then that person will receive a copy of your work. Next I'm going to click on starred here, and now it brings up my starred work, and at the top there are my starred folders, and below that are starred or important documents that I have there. So if I click on the three dots for one of those folders, it comes up, you'll see the folder's name, and below that it'll allow me to share it. It'll allow me to remove from the starred area. It allows me to change my sharing options there where it says link sharing off. It allows me to copy the link, to rename it. Below that I can change the color of the folder, and then I can actually add a shortcut to the drive for that folder. Next, at the very bottom there, you'll notice that you have two people there. If you tap the two people there, that's called shared, and now I see all the work that's being shared with me. Now, since I am a school teacher and I have many students, all of their work there that they're sharing with me appears right here, and I can tap on that work. I can grade the work. I can leave comments on the work if something is left undone or not complete. I can make changes there. So that's work that's being shared with me by my students. The very last option there is a folder. So if I tap on that folder, this opens up what's called files. And this basically allows me to see all the folders and files within my Google Drive. Now that's the Google Drive that's being stored up online. So at the very top there, you notice it says name. Now if I tap that name, I can sort my files and my folders in different ways. So I can sort them by alphabetically A through Z or Z through A. I can change it so I can sort them by the size, or I can sort it by modified date. So my recently worked on files and folders would be seen at the top, and then older stuff that I haven't touched in the last 10 years will be down below. Now if you're looking here, you probably noticed in all these screens I have a little plus there on the lower right hand side of your screen there. If you tap that, then it'll open up, and this allows me to create new work. And so here's the options. I can create a new folder. So if I wanted to make a new folder or something like that, there's the option for that. The next one is upload, and I'll talk about that here in just a second. But next one is scan, so I can use the camera on my phone to take a photo or scan documents or do other things there and send that up there to my Google Drive. And then I can create a new Google Docs, Google Sheets, or Google Slides. Now the nice thing about the Docs, Sheets, and Slides is that I have the option to download that work as a Microsoft Word document, Microsoft Excel, or even a Microsoft PowerPoint file, and then share it with others in that form, and they would never know that I made all that work on my phone. Now, going back to upload. Now, I'm going to tap on upload there, and when you tap on upload, you have all these options here to upload. So you can upload files, you can upload a whole folder if you want to, and I'm inside my phone right now, inside the storage of my phone, and you notice that I have my screenshots. I can tap on those and then tap on there will be the option to upload those, and those would be added to my Google Drive. It is, like I said, possible to add folders as well too. So if, let's say that you're uploading your files and folders from your iMac, you basically have the same options as you see here. You click on the files or the folders that you want to upload, click on open or upload there, and then it will upload those items for you. And here's something that I don't want to forget. This is a screenshot of me working on one of my lessons. And you notice there's no screen there, space for my keyboard. And so I really recommend that if you're going to be using your smartphone as your main computer, that you also buy a Bluetooth keyboard, and that you can use your keyboard there as how you do your work. So you notice here on the screenshot down at the bottom, I have a few of my tools. At the top I have other tools, and then I have my work there, or my workspace there in the center. You can tap on different areas of your document and then begin typing on your Bluetooth keyboard and adding things there. If you don't have a keyboard or a Bluetooth keyboard, you can, if you press and hold on the document, a on-screen keyboard will magically appear, and then you can tap in and begin typing in your letter, your work that way. The problem is the keyboard takes up most of your screen, and then there's just a very little space for your actual workspace there. Alright, working with your phone is it's really good to have more space on your phone. So if you're working with an Android phone that perhaps doesn't have too many terabytes of space on it, then I highly recommend going out and buying a micro SD card. Now what you see here is a 32 gig card. That's not very large. The one that I'm actually using in my phone is actually a 256 gig that I have on one phone. On another phone it's 128 gig SD cards, and these are micro SD cards, and so that really allows me to save my movies, to allow me to save my music and my other media there, and be able to use them more fully as a computer. So upgrading your storage is a must-have if you're going to be using it as a main computer. Now I'm going to go in and talk about the My Files or the Files app. Now if you're working on an Android phone, the app is called My Files, and it looks like this. And so you would tap that one there. And if you're working on an iPhone, it's going to be called the Files app, and it'll look like this. So you just go ahead and tap that, and I'm going to be looking in the Android version, but both the iPhone and the Android have the same functionality and the same modes there, so it's going to be very similar across the board. When you first open up your My Files or your Files app on your phone there, it's going to open up into this home screen. At the very top you have the My Files. Below that, Recently Worked on Files will be appearing up there. Then below that we have Categories. Below that I have my internal storage, and then for my Android phone I've added a 128 gig micro SD card, so you see it there. And then we have other storage options there as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my phone and lay it on its side, and now this is the way I actually use my phone when I'm working with it as my main computer. The phone is going to be laying in this way on the side, and so it's more like a computer screen. And when I do that, I see everything spread out in this way, and so it's a little bit easier for me to see and work with my files. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tap at the very bottom of my screen where it says SD card. Now if you're using an iPhone, you're probably not going to have that. You probably will have instead of what's called just an internal storage, but it'll be a huge internal storage. Tap on that, and then you'll see your folders and files that you're saving on that storage area. So here you see I have folders: Alfred Hitchcock, All in the Family, Hogan's Heroes, Three's Company, and then over here to the right I have how many items are found in each of those folders. So it kind of gives you an idea of what's in those folders by all of this. Now if you were to double tap on one of those folders, then it opens up, and that's how I actually watch. So if I wanted to watch Alfred Hitchcock, I would double tap Alfred Hitchcock, and then I would see the episodes, tap on the episode that I want to watch, and I would actually be able to watch Alfred Hitchcock right on my phone there, or any of these other shows. Now let's say that I want to do some work with one of these folders. What I can do is I can long tap on one of these folders, and that's done by pressing and holding just for a few seconds on one of those folders. So here I've pressed and held All in the Family folder. It comes up, and then at the bottom of the screen I have more options. I can move it, I can copy it, give me the details of that folder, I can share it, or I can delete that folder. So those are the options that you see at the bottom of my screen. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on Copy, and when I tap on Copy, it'll copy that folder, and then I can browse to another folder. And so here I've browsed to another folder, and then I can have the option to say copy here, and I can then copy that folder to this new location. So it kind of allows me to work with my folders and files if I want to organize everything for me. Now going back to the home there on my Files app, you'll notice that there's different categories seen up here. So I have images, videos, audio, docs, downloads, and APK. APK is something that you'd find only on a Android smartphone. You wouldn't really find APKs on a iPhone, because an APK is a downloaded application. let's go ahead and let's tap on images. So when I tap on images, you'll notice that within the images it comes up and it sorts out my images for me. I have a folder called images, and then I have images within my camera, screenshots, download, and then I also have images in my messenger as well as other options there. I can tap on those. I can then long tap, copy, or if I wanted to, delete some of those if I needed to. So it allows me to work with my images. Going back to my home screen there, the next option we have is videos. So under videos, it opens up all of the video files, and here you see them sorted for me. So it'll show how much space those are taking up. On mine, it's taking up 108 gigs of space for just my videos, and then I have different folders, and so it's showing those there for me. The next one we have is my audio, and I have audios saved in different folders again. So I have 50s, 60s in one folder saved there. In the 70s, I have 288 songs saved there, and in the 1980s, I have 209 different songs there. So that I can click on one of those folders and then be playing some of those songs if I needed to. The next one that we have there is docs, and so if you've saved documents, other types of files like that within your phone, boom, that's how you'd find those. So the next one that we have there is downloads. And if you've downloaded files, movies, other things onto your phone, that's another way to find those items there. And then of course your APK files. Hey, so there you go. Now you know how to work a little bit better with your files, whether you're working with an Android phone or an Apple iPhone. You now know how to work within your Google Drive and how to upload items there. You now know how to find your work and even edit different documents, different spreadsheets, and that type of thing, regardless of whether you're using an iPhone or an Android. And if you like these types of videos, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, because I love to read your comments, especially if you have a question or a comment that you want to add. Just add it down there and I'll make sure to reply to that as soon as I can. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel and share the video, because a lot of people need help like this, and this is free computer help. You can't get better than free, right? All right. Well, thank you again for watching the video, and you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.